Hello everybody, Nice back here again with another inbox to review. Today we're going to be looking at HK models B-17G early production. So this is, as it says, the 148th version. Okay, now I've been after this kit for a long time. Okay, well since it came out, and the local model shop had it for sale at £100. Yes, it's a lot for a kit, but this is an all modern, brand new tooled kit. So it's not like the Rebel Monogram Hasegawa B17 in 48th. That yes, that's about £30 to £40, if not cheaper in places. But it's no rivets, raised panel lines. I think the fit's not great, and it's at least 30, 40, maybe 50 years old. So it's an old kit. So this is brand new. Okay, it's got all the modern features, rivets, recess lines, detail and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll put you on the overhead and we'll get cracking. I would normally get the box out, but the box is just that big that we can't physically fit it in. Okay, so we'll start off with instructions. So a nice glossy nearly A3 size booklet. Okay, it's got some of the actual write up about it, all the warnings. The only downside I can see with this is that it's black and white, it's not colour. Okay, but we'll have a look at that as we get through. So we'll open it up and straight into the first page. No sprue matter or anything like that. Okay, straight into the main cockpit area. So we're starting off with the pilot and the co-pilot seat and all the side walls, and then we move on to the bombs and moving into the bomb bay itself. The bomb bay side walls, bulkheads, all going together, and then we'll continue building the cockpit, the crew area, so the radio area, the front bulkhead, the area for the belly turret. Okay, moving on to looking at putting the windows and that sort of stuff in, and then mounting the actual that subsection into the cockpit, into the fuselage. Moving on to the tail wheel, belly plate, and onto the other side, before then we close up the fuselage. Okay, and then we move on to the tail gun. Okay, so the tail gun down there, going in with the clear parts. We have the upper rear gun. Okay, the spine of the aircraft going on with the windshields, cockpit area, more glazing. That must be, I think that's the nose turret. Okay, then we have the bomb aimer, probably the navigator's area that's going to go into the nose. Okay, so again, all the glazings that go in. One of the side guns, so on the nose they have two guns, one like that sticking out the front and one like that, as well as the one that goes the front, and then closing all that up before we put the nose chin turret in. Okay, and putting all those subsections and the tail planes together. And then we move on to the belly turret, so the bull turret on the belly, and yeah, that's all part of it. Okay, so the mechanism to housing it in there. All right, moving on to the upper turret just behind the cockpit. Okay, looking like there's going to be some nice detail in there. We have then to put all the bits and pieces in. Okay, the bomb bay doors open or closed, putting the belly turret in and the tail wheel before building the wings. Okay, so there's the main undercarriage bay, goes together, then slots into the nacelles with the propeller parts, and then the exhaust and what have you, I believe, are going on. We then move on to adding the engines, the wheels. Okay, so you get 4 engines. Okay, we don't know what they're going to be like until we have a look at it. And the main wheels. Before then, we do the same on the opposite wing. Adding all the flaps. Okay, I believe you can position these however you want. I won't be. I'll be having it all closed, I think, and there's a very good reason for that, which we'll come to in a minute. Okay, again, engines, adding to the nacelles. Before then, we lock on the wings, and they do lock in, so this go on, and I think I would slide forward or slide back to actually physically lock them in place before we add all the guns. There we have the sprue map, decals, and then we've got the 2 colour call outs. So we've got them in AK Interactive, Mr. Hobby, and Tamiya. So this is the one from it's Basingbourn, UK, early spring. Now this one's probably one I'm going to do, because through my army training, I actually did my first initial 13 weeks at Basingbourn. So we actually ran around where the the runway and all that sort of stuff. So this one's got quite a close, it's quite close to my heart. Okay, so this is probably the one I'm going to do. It's going to be the olive drab and grey undersides. Again, unfortunately, it's not in colour. I think that would have set things off nicely. And then we have got an all silver bare metal finish from Sudbury, late summer 1944. Okay, and obviously we've got 2 lots of nose art, which we'll have a look at. Okay, and then we've got the colour guide on the back. So that's the instructions. Next up, we're going to start looking at the parts. So I've took them all out of the bags, and this is the first time I'm properly looking at them. So there's one of the wings. Okay, as you can see, it's already together, so I just have to pull it apart. I'll put that one to one side a minute. And then we can see, hopefully, all that detail. Now, this needs all this because, obviously, it's a big aircraft. I mean, look at the size of that wing. The wing itself is, 31 centimeters. That's just one wing. Also, you've got one on either side. So you can see all that lovely detail on there. Raised when it needs it. Okay, so these hatches are all raised. Okay, and then we've got look at all that lovely rivet detail. That is absolutely brilliant. Okay, the downside, okay, why I will be doing this all closed up is you can see the ejection pin marks. Now I totally understand these. Okay, this is a big old piece, so they needed to get it out of the mold. Maybe they could have put them just the other side, but as you can see, all these fin bits here, they would have got stuck, so they needed something to be able to push it out somewhere. Okay, then we've got the other wing, the lower wing, and again raised and recessed detail. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, only time I've really seen this detail like this is on Edard's Spitfires. Okay, on that kit, they're absolutely fantastic. And we have the same sort of level of care and attention on this. Bear with me a moment. Just want to sort something out. We get, obviously, 2 wings. And then we've got the fuselage. Okay. Starting on the outside, again, the same level of detail, okay, to the actual wings as on the fuselage, okay. Only downside really is the lugs, okay, the sprue attachment points, and you can see they're not the smallest, they're not dainty, but they've tried to fit it so it's flat. Okay, so snipping them off, then sanding them down would be the order of the day with those. I can't see any sort of problems inside, but you can see all the ribbing detail in there. Okay, again, these beams are a bit cut off, so you'll have to tidy them up. Okay, but it's all absolutely fantastic detail. And we get 2 of those. Okay, so they're exactly the same. Then we're moving on to some of the smaller parts. I've not opened these up. Okay, so I'll just get, this is one of the nose sections. There'll be 2 of these, so I'll only be getting 1 out. Okay, so again, the same sort of detail on there. Okay, and then on the inside, unless that's getting hid, okay, why put that there? So I'm gonna have to get a sheet of plastic card maybe to go over the top of that, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get that out, but we'll have a look at that. Okay, two parts for the tail. Okay, so there's the tail area. And again, C3 in there, and these injection parts. Now, when this is closed up, I don't think you're going to be able to see in there, if I'm brutally honest. But we'll check it when we do it, okay? We then have some of the cockpit parts. So that's the chin turret, instrument panel, okay. Some, oh, I don't know, that might be that looks like it might be the bomb sight. Okay, one of the bulkheads with the fire extinguisher, the chin flooring, okay. I'm hoping, okay, that's all hidden, so we won't see that, so that'll be buried deep in the aircraft, but that could be an issue. See all those injections. But overall, some nice detail with some ammo boxes, what by the looks of it, some controls, some of the 50 cal, okay, in 2 parts. Onto the prop and the nacelles, okay. Again, some nice detail on there with the props themselves and on the engine nacelle cowling. Onto a sprue with some more of the guns, the bombs, the engines, okay. For what they are, they're really well molded, okay. The cowling flaps, and then we move on to the barrels themselves. The barrels are all drilled out at the end, which is good, okay. You won't be able to see that on there, okay, but they are just drilled out a little bit. One of the seats, doors, tail wheel, and other little sundries, okay, so all really nice. Not too keen on the control yokes, okay, they maybe could have been a little bit thinner, but once they're in there, they should look okay. Then we've got some wheels, 2-part wheels, with weight on wheel, which is good. They must be part of the engine, not the engine, the wheelbase. Okay, yeah, these are all wheelbase parts. Some nice detail on here. So they're a little kit on its own. Really, really sturdy balustrade main legs, and I don't know whether that's going to be, yeah, they're all the main legs, so they've got to be part of the main leg assembly as well, but obviously we'll have a look at that when we come to build it. The flaps, again, we have the same issue with the ejection pin marks, but again, I'll be doing that closed. Then we have the 2 tail planes. Okay, so again, some really nice raised and recessed detail. Okay, the Bombay doors, some the cockpit. Okay, bulkheads and floor of something. All right, so again, some really nice detail. Look, okay, so details like that all over. And then we've got the spine, where the main the cockpit is, and some more bulkheads. Okay, so these are going to be a problem, okay, because these bits are yellow and also the rest is green, but with a steady hand I can't see it being a real major issue. And then we've got parts of the turret, the main cockpit area, some more bulkheads, radio parts. Okay, again, all really nice detail. Remember, you've only got, even though there's a lot of glazing on this, there's not much that you can actually see in it. So it's whether you can, get rid of any of those little imperfections. We have some more little parts, okay, of maybe the turret. Okay, again, some really nice detail, some control quadrants or wherever they are, or might be the gears. Okay, we have then all the clear parts. Okay, so I'm not going to take these out because I don't want them to get scratched, but they look really, really nice. Okay, I'll be getting a math set for this. Okay, I hope you can just see. Okay, some nice detail on the ball turret glazing, and some of the glazing for the rear gun and rear side guns. Okay, moving on to the decals. These are printed by Cartograph. Okay, so I can't envision these having any sort of issue. Okay, wow, hardly any carrier film. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but if I just look out, you can just see that there's hardly any carrier film there. Worst parts are probably the inside the G and the 25. You can just see them, same as on the G and the Q. So those ones and the numbers up there, you'd have to make sure you've got a really good surface to put them on. And then we get some photo etch, which looks like seat belts, and that is uber thin. Really see how wobbly that is. Okay, so that's really, really thin. So yeah, that should be really, really nice. So that is HK Models B-17. A really, really impressive kit. Okay, now yes, there are some issues with the injection pin marks, but bear in mind how much you might actually see in there, you should get away with them. And the main one will be that where they put the Hong Kong models bit in the nose. And I think with a really thin piece of plastic card in there, covering it, it shouldn't be a problem. The other main issue is that, well, not an issue as such, but it's getting around it. How you're going to do it is the flooring. Now the flooring's all wood, so it's doing that so it looks more like wood at the end of the day. But everything else, you know, the detail. If you can get this kit for about the same price I did, from anywhere from about, I've heard that you can get it from the Far East for about 85 quid to about 100 quid. If you can get it for that, there's a lot of plastic in there. That's going to be a big old build for me. Okay, so it's going to take some time. So for 100 quid for a kit that's going to take me, okay, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, that's absolutely fantastic. You know, I think that's really, really reasonable. And it will go right along with all my fighters I've got. Okay, I've been waiting for a B-17 in 48 flavour to come out for ages. I want a Lancaster as well, but we'll have to wait to see for that. But would I recommend it? Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, if you can get it for a reasonable price, I would highly, highly recommend it. Some nice detail in the cockpit, you're not going to see a lot. So it's how far you want to go. There are Edard sets. You can get an Edard set with all the masking, with all the boxes, seat belts and all that for 50 odd quid. So it's, you know, you're adding that to it, but do you need it? I don't know. Okay. That's obviously down to yourselves. For me, I might just get the mast set and then have done with it. You know, have the mast set and then just detail the cockpit up and what have you. As I would, I've got wire, I've got foil and what have you, so I can do all that sort of thing. So it's something to think about. But a very nice kit from Hong Kong Models. I think it should go together really, really well. As long as you take care with clean up and what have you. Just take your time and I can't see it being a problem. So that's it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye for now.